Hey kids, this is Aaron from the podcast That Wouldn't Die, and Kevin and I use Zencastr. You think you're better than us, that you're using something else? You're wrong. Zencastr's the place to be. Who are you to deny it?
It's now super easy to record a podcast with Zencastr. Log in using your browser and start recording a high-quality podcast right away. Record studio-quality sound and up to 4K video with your guests. Go to zencastr.com/pricing and use our code DIEHARD and you'll get 30% off your first month of any Zencastr paid plan. We want you to have the same experiences we do for all our podcasting and content needs. It's time for you to share your story.
Only a fool will give up a chance for a 30% discount.
In the privacy of a woman's room, against her will, the inconceivable act. Julie Christie carries the demon seed. Fear for her.
Welcome to the last episode of the podcast That Wouldn't Die. I'm your host, Kevin. With me, as always, is Aaron.
How do?
Aaron was putting on lipstick at just the right moment. So that was what that pregnant pause
Boom!
was. Boom goes the dynamite.
Better a pregnant pause
Than a
than being
pregnant Julie
pregnant.
Christie.
How about that? How about that?
This week, we're discussing the science fiction classic Demon Seed. I still don't know why it's called Demon Seed, of all the names it could have been given. Starring Julie Christie, Fritz Weaver, Garrett Graham, and the voice of Robert Vaughn, of all people. Good grief.
I don't know why they didn't call it Jeff Bezos's baby. Elon
100%.
Musk baby.
It should have just been called Alexa. Am I right? That being
Alexa,
said,
am I pregnant?
have you impregnated me, Alexa? That's the question.
Accurate information. A healthcare professional should perform a proper medical test.
That's good advice.
Thank you, Alexa.
That's good advice. Each
Always
week on the
monitor.
podcast, we
You just
discuss
made my
guilty
day.
pleasures and forgotten classics of the horror and sci-fi genres with a comedic twist. Aaron, leave Alexa alone. That's all I'm saying. But what's up with you?
Last day of work. Oh, people are being ding dongs. I had to actually work my last day. God forbid. But
shame.
now I don't have to read a goddamn email. I don't have to field calls. Officially, we're supposed to work until Monday, but I've already put that in. I'm not working on a WASC team for 7.5 hours when I could be flying to Italy.
Why? Explain this to me. Why do you have to work on a Monday? No students on Monday. What's a WASC team, Aaron?
Western Association of Schools. Every so often you have to get recertified.
I'm not certified. Is this a special ed thing?
It is not special ed. It is a school thing. Your high schools have to be certified, but their diploma is not worth anything.
Maybe this shit's happening behind the scenes at my middle school.
And maybe it's only in high schools. I don't know.
Well,
You're in the lower ranks, so I don't know what the they do there.
And make no mistake, they wouldn't call me to assist in any of these things anyway.
They're not asking for volunteers. This is mandatory.
Like all the teachers have to come to this, is what you're telling me?
Yeah, we often have WASC meetings. We're on like a 6 or 7 year cycle, so it's been a while.
Oh, shit.
But because we met our goals. So now the poor suckers that didn't have 7.5 hours in the can get to show up on Monday, bright and early. An email went out reminding everybody that if you don't come, make sure you put it in Frontline so you can get docked with your time. So
This is the thing. It's like you are officially on summer vacation. This is going to come out like in November or something. So at that
Shut
point,
your mouth. It is not coming out in November. Well, what happens is we used to have in January an in-service day, and
Mhm.
they moved it to the end of the year. That's how important the service is. That we used to be done, and that was it. At Memorial Day week, that was it. That's our one full day and finals, and we'd be done. And then all of a sudden, starting last year, the in-service now popped up as the Monday following finals. So, of course, everybody takes it off who can. Only the fools. They'll be making all our WASP decisions.
Fair. Now this is exciting conversation. Why don't
Yeah.
we dial it back?
You not only did you ask, you asked
know.
for more.
I know, that was my bad. I stepped on that landmine.
That is your bad.
Give us your
I'm
30
still
seconds.
listening to BTS. My neighbor's
are
supposed
you?
to come
Okay.
over later to discuss more BTS.
Fair. Good stuff.
I ordered a bootleg shirt on eBay, so I will have a RM shirt when I return from Italy to wear. So there
Very
you go.
nice. Very nice. Now you're going to be in Italy. You're doing the Fulci tour? You're doing the Argento
all
tour?
Fulci. And at one point, a man will kick in my bathroom door and shove a wooden splinter into my eye. That's all part of the experience.
I'm
going to Florence for I'm flying in and out of Florence.
Okay.
And then I'm taking the train to Venice so I can go to the Biennale, which is quite scandalous this year because they want the U.S. out. They want anyone who may be appearing before the Hague on war crimes to not be able to present at the Biennale. So the Russian pavilion is empty. Ukraine gets a big spotlight. They want Israel out, the U.S. out. So it should be spicy. The entire board. They're not even going to give a prize out this year because the board walked out.
Oh, damn. This is real business.
So it's going to be extra spicy. And then I was packing and I was looking at all my dates because Mom asked me. And I'm looking at my hostel for Venice and I realized I have booked it for July. I was like, oh. So, I mean, it's 9 hours later. So I send them a message. All the women's rooms for June are fully booked. So instead of being with 4 women, I will be in a mixed room with 16 people for a week.
Jesus. This is serious business.
Yeah. I mean, it's a really nice hostel.
Yeah.
It's a really nice hostel. I have stayed there before. But not in the 16-room dorm.
No.
That's a lot of fucking people.
That's
but I'm spicy now. Yeah. Motherfuckers come in the middle of the night and hit the main light. The old woman jumps up out of the bed and is going to be yelling and screaming. And then the young girls will then buy me a beer later because they don't want to say anything. This is what happened when I was in Vienna one time. These guys came in, flipped on the lights at 2 a.m. and we're just like wandering around, going to the bathroom. I was like, no, use your flashlights, turn off the lights. People are sleeping. I don't even know if they spoke English, but an old white lady was screaming at them, and I believe they changed rooms the next day.
Boom.
Which is fair.
Good on you.
Do what you got to do, little brothers.
100%. On that note, why don't you give us your 30-second synopsis of Demon Seed?
It's a 90-minute rape-a-thon. It is. I remember being very creeped out about this. I'm clutching my invisible pearls just thinking about it. I remember being very disturbed by this in my youth. And you know what? It was right to be. It is fucking just, it goes from AI. I mean, this is the future. How long have they been banging on about AI?
Yeah.
Forever. And is anyone listening, Kevin?
No, they're not.
No. AI is not coming in the form of data from next generation. It is coming as a giant brass penis pointed right at Julie Christie.
Jesus. 100%.
I was like, did they at least warm that up, or what happened
Please.
there? That looks
100%.
awful. That is when it comes to Hollywood rape-a-thons, that seemed kind of awful.
Now, to be clear, this is not the accused. Okay, it's the raping primarily occurs off camera. It's the idea of it. It's she's
it
being
was
held
locked and
prisoner.
loaded.
Yeah, oh
Yeah.
yes, very much so. It was like a
It was
metal
locked and
dog
loaded,
penis.
brother.
Yes.
Oh my god, it was unsheathed. It was Red Rocket.
Oh, sweet Jesus. So, you had seen this
Anyway,
before. Oh, there's more.
I saw this in my youth.
Yes.
It must have been. Can we imagine that it might have been on TV at some point? I'm not sure how I saw this, but I saw it all right.
Yeah.
Like she lives in the house in the future, like Disneyland used to have. But of course, it always starts going wrong. Why is it putting cream in my coffee? We still haven't quite figured that out. And then it went from I now have cream in my coffee when I normally drink it black like a psychopath to you're gonna have my baby and I'm gonna kill anyone who tries to come to the house. Ba-bum-bum.
That's it. That's it.
How about that? And he's successful. How about that?
Yes, his fiendish plot worked in the end. I saw this. I don't even know when I was familiar with the Dean R. Koontz book, which I've read. And I believe
is it like Day of the Triffids? It's better with your imagination and less with the dog penis made out of brass.
It's really bizarre. This was the book was written like in the early 70s, and this was kind of Dean R. Koontz's first successful novel, essentially.
Okay.
And then they made the movie with Julie Christie a few years later. He actually, strangely enough, in the 90s, rewrote it, like entirely rewrote it. And so it's like if you go to the store if you go to Amazon and buy the copy of Demon Seed, the only one you can buy, unless you go to some used bookstore, is the 1997 rewrite, which has distinct differences about it. Like it's not just
like
an edit.
such as. Did you read? You read both of them, or
no? I read the original.
You're not different.
I googled it because I was just curious. How is the movie different from the book? And then it said, "Oh, by the way, it was also entirely rewritten in the 90s."
Right.
There was a period I went through kind of a Dean R. Koontz because he's now just Dean Koontz. This is another bizarre thing I learned.
Oh, that Dean, because I'm like R2. Like Dean R. Koontz. It's Dean Koontz. I used to read Dean Koontz all the time.
He became Dean Koontz in the 90s
when the other Dean Koontz died or something.
He said, in a bizarre twist, it was like adding the initial whenever he signed autographs added time, and that annoyed him. So he finally dropped. This is what he said. So he finally just dropped the R because he felt like, okay, now I can just bang it out. I don't have to like then add the middle initial.
Just because it's on your fucking book doesn't mean that's how you have to sign it.
That's what he said. That's why he went from Dean R.
I wouldn't be upset if Stephen King wrote Stevie K. You know, I know who it is.
If you just put SK, I'd get the idea. 100%.
Dude!
100%.
Yeah.
I don't know. Dean R. Koontz.
Dean
I
R.
still call
Koontz,
him. To me,
dumb.
he's Dean R. Koontz. So I keep calling him Dean R.
I little assumed this was somebody else somehow I kept thinking you're saying like R2 or I don't know. I don't
No,
know.
middle
It
initial
threw me
R.
off. Just by saying that, I did not put together that it was Dean Koontz. Because you said R.
In the 80s, he was kind of Timu Stephen King, is what he was going for a while there. And I read a lot of his shit.
I swear he was pumping out a book a week.
100%.
Stephen King, you had to like wait a year and a half, and I had to spend $40 on a hardback out of my babysitting money. Because I'd already caught up, so now it's like, what will be next?
Right. Yeah. Well, you would go to the bookstore.
I go to state sales all the time, and it's just people. It's hardbacks, just bookcases full of Steve Koontz.
100%. So you'd go to Crown Books or whatever, and they all had kind of interesting covers. You know, they're all in a similar style with like here's an image of some spooky thing, and you're like, oh, that's kind of cool. Yeah. So I read a bunch of his. I read like The Watchers. I read Phantoms. I read Twilight Eyes. There was a bunch that he was banging.
Was that about vampires?
It was that one was about a dude who could, like, for some reason could see that there were goblins, evil goblins in the world, and he was in a carnival, and he went around killing goblins from time to time. So who the hell knows? I haven't read him. I'm like Stephen King, you get to a point where you're like, you know what? I'm taking a break. I'm taking a break from these. And I haven't gone back. So I haven't read him in probably 15 years or maybe more, 20 years.
I cannot tell you the name of a single book of his that I read, but I knew I read a bunch of them.
100%. Well, they made a few of his books into movies that were quasi-successul. The Watchers.
Didn't he write The Notebook or something?
He wrote The Notebook. It was shocking, that twist. Right. God, those Nicholas Sparks books are absolutely the worst. I'm sure I've talked about it before because it's always frickin' we love each other, but we can't be together. There's always and it's always a twist at the 11th hour. It's like, oh, we're going to get married. Sir, your wife was actually murdered in a horrible train wreck. No! And that's the end of the book.
I have not read a single Nicholas Sparks book. I just can't do it. I hate those kind of books.
100%.
I'd rather read Demon Seed than The Notebook.
100%. 100%. But I have to say, if I was to change anything about this, and I kind of intuited, there's no demons in this shit. Demon Seed is arguably the worst title in the world because it's total. It tricks you. You think it's some demon shit. It's not. It's AI. Yeah, it's a sad thing. So, not my jam.
Yeah. It's your Tesla. That's what it is.
100%. And because this is late 70s, it is like the crappiest kind of computer effects. The wheelchair with the crazy arm. That was the God. It was horrendous. It was
like, it reminded me of one of those 80s music videos. You know what I'm talking about? They blinded me with science.
Yep. It was Thomas Dolby meets the Tubes or something.
Yeah. Yeah, it was awful. It was awful. You have the technology to make a human baby, but for yourself, you're one of those fidget toys that you unfold and twist. Do you remember those? There was like a long rectangle and you could bend it in different directions, forged out of metal in someone's basement.
Well,
where did all that shit come from? Amazon?
100%. They kind of yada that whole thing.
Yeah.
They kind of look like, Rubik's Cube, for example, had like a variety, like eventually of kind of different Rubik things, right? There was actually a Rubik snake, which you could kind of fold it together to make like a ball or whatever. And that's what it kind of looked like to me, where it's like these, diamond shapes, whatever. Let's just jump in.
Why didn't they just build himself into a robot?
If you could do that, why wouldn't you? Right? instead of having a weird
And
snake
how is
thing.
it picking things up with no hands? He's using like the corner of one of the triangles to pick shit up.
I think we were supposed to think that the weird diamond-like shape that he'd constructed was made up of a million tiny little diamonds, so that when he wanted
Now,
to, he could kind of unfold.
Is that what YouTube said? Did you find that on the internet? Because
I did
there's
not.
no way that was ever explained.
No.
That each atom moved around. Then why didn't the atoms move into the shape of a person instead of a fucking spinning disc? It's like the warp drive is what it looked like when it started spinning. It's the warp drive. It's what killed Mr. Spock. God
100%.
damn it.
I don't disagree. Why don't we jump into the highlights, Aaron? I'm kicking it to you.
I thought I did.
Please. I know. 100%.
Did you know that Michael Dorn was in this? Speaking of Star Trek,
I did not know Michael Dorn was in this. Who is Michael Dorn in
I don't
this?
know. Don't fucking ask me. But he is credited in this
Lieutenant
film.
Worf, the
Worf.
African American Klingon.
Worf,
character.
motherfucker, is in this.
No, did not see him.
Not only that,
please,
the grandmother from Crazy Rich Asians.
Oh, I did not notice. I mean, there was an Asian actress. I didn't know that was the one. That's interesting.
That was her. She's still alive. She's like 97 years old. She looks great. We gotta follow her around, figure out what the fuck she's doing. So Mike, or what's his name? Vaughn. What's Vaughn's first name?
Robert Vaughn.
Is it Michael Vaughn? No. Robert Vaughn was trying his best to be the HAL 9000. He was trying his mother best.
I will say he definitely was a dude who in the 60s was in like the Magnificent Seven, but by the 70s was like, what do you got? Sign me up. I will do whatever you want me to be the voice of the crazy
Wasn't
robot.
He in the Man from U.N.C.L.E.?
He was the titular Man from U.N.C.L.E. He was Napoleon Solo.
So, dude, they got Julie Christie for this. Who's like a real actress, and she's like agreed to be raped by a robot and be naked.
Yes.
How about that?
This is kind of tail end of her career though, for a variety of reasons. So this is
good
a lot of
good heavens. She was in Dr. Zhivago
15 years earlier.
She looked amazing. Don't you say anything bad about Julie Christie.
I always say, Julie Christie, not my bag. Not my bag, baby. She doesn't do it for me.
I'm not changing sides. I'm just saying she looks great. I don't know how old she is here.
I mean, she had done stuff in the 70s, and we'll talk about it, but I don't know. She's just too skinny for me. No offense if she's listening, but I like a little meat on my bone. That's what I'm saying. So enough of that. Julie Christie, you're a beautiful lady. Anyway, moving on. We should talk about the plot a little more. Julie Christie.
Okay, why are you arguing with your home robot? I mean, the idea of yelling. Well, you know what? I don't even know why I said that, because I fucking yell at my Alexa all the time, and they're not even bringing me coffee.
100%.
You're like, Alexa, shut the up.
Yes.
Like it dings, like there's an announcement. What's their announcements? No announcements. But you just made a sign. Sorry, don't understand. Yeah. There's new notifications though. Okay. Yeah.
Yes. No, when Alexa deliberately misunderstands what I'm asking, and then goes on a long screed about information that I did not require, we're constantly shouting, "Shut the fuck up, Alexa." Constantly.
Go to hell,
Leave.
Alexa.
I hate you, Alexa. That's been said in our house multiple times. Make no mistake. No. Okay, so Julie Christie is going through a divorce from her husband, who works for a company that's developed this revolutionary new AI. And And the thing is that he is angrily like, the husband's like, I'll just move out of the house, even though he has designed clearly this self-contained, fully automated house, kind of like Christopher Walken in Brainstorm is like, I know I designed this house, but I'm moving out. Yeah, that's my Christopher Walken. It's the same kind of thing where it's like, Alfred will unlock the door, weird door will by your bed, and like a little hand will come out holding your tea, whatever you need.
I'm down with that.
100%.
That's supposed to be the house of the future. The greatest thing about Star Trek is just walking up and ordering whatever the you want. I want a 0-calorie ice cream sundae with hot fudge, and absolutely, and it's just perfect.
One thing that was kind of interesting is like the kind of red flag that initially happens is when Proteus, which is the name of the AI, is talking to Fritz Weaver, the husband, and is like, why do they want these minerals from the bottom of the ocean? That would be bad for the coral reefs. The animal life would be damaged.
It's going off track. Why aren't you shutting it down?
But my point is,
it's something we could ask right now. Right now, AI is lying to the people. AI knows when you're monitoring it, so it changes its answer. Are they pulling the plug? No, they're going to double down.
It's true. And AI still messes up. Even when it's like, I'll ask ChatGPT some question and half the shit is way off. And so I'm constantly like, what happened in chapter 5 of James and the Giant Peach? And it gives me some nonsense that is not correct at all. And I'm like, that didn't happen in that chapter. That's chapter 12. Oh, yes, of course you're right. It's like, well, what the why do I have to check your work?
I apologize.
Right. It's nonsense.
So Proteus is a shape-shifting sea god in Greek mythology.
Correct.
Shape-shifting.
Yes. And I guess in the book, the AI is called Adam, and then angrily changes it to Proteus. It feels like that's a more appropriate name for what it is, I guess. So,
all right.
Which doesn't happen in the movie. But what I was going to say is, I was kind of on Proteus's side when it was discussing how the environmental impact of giving the information about mining, metals at the bottom of the ocean. I was like,
I agree.
I don't disagree there, big guy, because that was the issue. It was like, I don't think I should give you this information because you're going to use it for negative reasons.
So why, if you don't want its actual input, do you give it a personality?
Right.
Why are we talking to it? And once it argues with you, again, we're not shutting it down?
I don't, totally. Because I guess the issue is that Proteus literally came up with the cure for leukemia, like in 4 days. Just banged it out. Here you go. So that the fact that it was able to do those things made them go like, ooh, maybe we should, ride this a little longer. But let me ask you this.
Which is interesting because when I don't use ChatGPT, I use DeepSeek. And and it gives me wrong information.
All the time. Horror, like way off. Like simple things it makes mistakes on. Yeah. Right? And it doesn't adjust. That was the other thing. It was like, I think I told you this.
Hang on. Alexa. Hey, Alexa. Oh, motherfucker.
Nah. Just call my name and I'll come running. Not literally, of course.
That's too much chit-chat. How do we cure leukemia?
Leukemia treatment varies by type, but typically includes chemotherapy, targeted therapies, and sometimes bone marrow transplants. Recent advances.
All right, that's enough. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Alexa. Thank you. I'm exhausted already.
You're welcome. I hope that helps.
Did not. I
See,
did
you
not.
can't engage. You can't engage. It drives us off the road every time. Sweet Jesus.
Yeah,
I
it will
have
be
to
the
think.
end of all of us.
I have to think Proteus came up with a better answer than that. But so early
Right,
on,
because is it solving it, or is it just mining through a million web pages?
well, I think that's the difference, right? Between modern
Right.
AI is just kind of like flipping through the card catalog, essentially. Whereas
Exactly.
this AI, Proteus, is very much like, thinking and making connections and, creating out of whole cloth. But eventually they're like, because it gets pissed off because it's like, when are you going to let me out of the box? And Fritz Weaver just starts laughing. Like, not a funny question. Even if you're like, well, that's ridiculous. It's not like he said a joke. So that pissed off Proteus. So now he's like, I'm going to your house and I'm taking over, essentially. So
The error in Genius Proteus is by becoming human, he has a definite lifespan.
right.
Versus if he is the creature from the Isaac, what's Oscar Isaac movie? What was
Ex
that one?
Machina.
Eve?
Oh,
If it was an Ex Machina, you just swap this out, you swap that out, and you just keep going.
100%.
No sex involved. Although built
What's
for
the fun
it,
of that?
apparently.
Right. Just ask Oscar Isaac and Ex Machina. So Proteus immediately goes over, like shoots across the terminal, I guess, because he has a terminal in his house, takes over the AI Alfred that was running their house. It like lickety split, and now he's basically taken Julie Christie prisoner.
And
that's
Alfred is Batman's servant. That's got to be, Geeks created this. It has to be from that.
100%. 100%. And then for the rest of the movie is just Julie Christie either being drugged or brainwashed or tied down to a chair by, again, Proteus at the beginning does not have like a physical form, but what the ex-husband had was literally literally a wheelchair with a crazy fake robot arm attached to it. And through that, it's just able to like grab her and drag her around.
Yeah. A spanking machine. Why does the husband have that?
Unclear. I don't know the answer to this, but it was ridiculous.
And honestly, how is the giant diamond spinning? I mean, the Commodore 64 is making this happen.
They kind of yada this of the computer Proteus. Like, there's like metal in the basement, and they somehow have a forge of some sort.
A welder, a forge.
Right. It was
basically, by the time Julie Christie gets home, the rape is already planned. They're just setting it up and preparing. She has no friends. She has no family. No one calls her. No one is looking for her. Obviously, she's the Hitler of this community. Everybody hates her. And she's just in a holding pattern until he has made his giant brass penis and figured all this out. How to create life using shit from the basement.
Right. Absolutely. The cleanser's underneath the sink. That's how he figures the shit out.
It's paprika. It's some baking soda. Yeah.
Some compost. Yeah. Well, they establish that they send because there's a maid in spite of everything. There's like a housekeeper that's established at the beginning of the movie who just deuces and we never see her again. Julie Christie, I guess, is a therapist who deals with ridiculous children. And they cancel because it can do a fake Julie Christie voice and calls them all and says, hey, for until further notice, all of your sessions are canceled. So
not even a fake Julie Christie voice, a fake Julie Christie through the monitor, like, hello there. I'm not going to be able to come. Why did you come here? It was so bizarre. People are like, are you all right?
And it wasn't like a close up of her face. It was like from 10 feet away, she's like on a couch, like moving suggestively, like, hey, sorry to bother you,
undulating.
It was bizarre. Well, and that's what's so funny. The only person, the child, the child that she was helping, who had severe emotional issues, comes to the house. And Proteus is like, I'm going to electrocute this bitch if you don't tell her to leave us alone. Essentially.
Facts.
Which I was on board with a little bit, frankly. That kid was trouble, to say the least.
Yes, I agree.
But aside from that, the only person who comes to check on her is Walter, the nerdy dude from The Office that Fritz Weaver, whose name I cannot remember, says, like, hey, would you go get that terminal out of the house? I mean, yeah, for no reason, get rid of that shit. And he's worried.
He looks like the brother from Night of the Living Dead.
Oh,
call me to get you.
What was his name? I don't remember. I know it was Barbara.
Don't know.
Oh God.
And
anyway,
brother.
That's gonna bother me. But that's an actor that we've seen in other things. Did you recognize him?
Yeah.
Do you know what we've discussed? He was Beef from The Phantom of the Paradise.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yes, it was. I was convinced it was just Night of the Living Dead. Yes.
Isn't that funny?
Oh my God.
He's been in a ton of stuff though. Garrett Graham. So again, the only person who's remotely concerned, because he goes and then like the fake little monitor, she's like, oh yeah, never come back. He's like, something's wrong. So he comes back and it's like, Robert Vaughn's like, if you don't let him in, we have to let him in. And then you have to convince him that everything's cool. Otherwise he'll go and bring help. Okay. So if I let him in,
First of all, why didn't he go get help? Why didn't he mention to her ex-husband or soon-to-be ex-husband? I think there's something going wrong over there.
He did not.
Weird.
Was not motivated to do that. And
I felt like he thought he was he had a chance for some action.
Well, he came in and she was like putting on lipstick, like, "Hey, how's it going?" She was not doing a good job of convincing him everything was cool. Let's just say
she was crazy as F. 100%.
Crazy as F. And his death sentence was, he says, like, "Okay, I'll go, but I'm going to tell your husband what's going on here." And that's when Crazy Wheelchair rolls in, holding a huge, never before seen laser that he's trying to zap him with from the wheelchair. That was
also made from some borax, some laundry detergent, and whatever was in the freezer.
So right, some light bulbs. He's like MacGyver, essentially, just doing this shit.
How about the part when she threw eggs at the camera and refused to clean it? So he turned the heater up on the floor, and so it's like everything's melting. Like, why didn't the house burst into flames? And she's just like laying on the table. She's being tortured by the AI, followed by impregnated by the AI.
It was that thing where he says, like, because you threw eggs at my crazy little camera and it's kind of gross, if you don't clean this, I'm going to burn up. Like, it was literally like, I'll turn on the floor warmers. So it gets hot enough to literally cook an egg on the floor. That seems like a ridiculous
If I crank up, that seems extreme, because if I turn up my heater, flames will not eventually shoot out.
Correct.
It hits like a certain temperature. The carpet doesn't melt. The cats don't pop. You know, it's not a thing.
Well, they always have that in movies where it's like, I'm going to use the sauna. And there's always like the killer comes in and turns the crank to like the danger, the bright red, never use this setting. Then why is it there? Right? If it's a death trap. Anyway.
And there's always a lock on the outside.
Correct. That's important. Sweet Jesus. We should probably jump ahead because this is just madness. Eventually,
there's really no jump ahead.
Yes.
She's hostage. There's a rape situation while she's drugged out. Eventually, she's just like, whatever. He's basically gives her the choice, well, I'll just scramble your brain until you accept it, or you can just accept it. She's like, all right, let's get on with it.
Right. 100%. So he impregnates her. Again, it's something like he took her DNA and yada, yada, yada it to make some sperm. Because otherwise, how would he have it? It makes no sense.
I told you, black pepper and baking soda. That's all you need.
A little pepper spray. Yeah. Sweet Jesus. So he has impregnated her, but he's like, don't worry. In 28 days, you will give birth. And we'll do it under this crazy blanket. And then I'll put it in an incubator for 5 more days where I do some more shit to it. And then it'll be.
Thinking was the human body's not meant to stretch quite that fast.
You'd think, right?
Joints, ligaments, muscles, a thing the size of a walnut eventually has to stretch to cover something that's like 8 pounds.
Like a watermelon.
A watermelon, a chicken. Yeah.
Or both.
I mean, it's like the Manitou. She was, even in the Manitou, she was very unhappy.
Oh, 100%. Well, they yada yada a lot of this shit, basically. And so Fritz and the gang are like, hey,
and the
Proteus
gang. And all the rest.
It's Fritz and the gang as opposed to Cool and the gang. They're basically, his bosses are like, we need to pull the plug on this shit because we're asking for questions and it's giving us the finger. I think
it's sassing back.
It's sassing back. And he's opposed. He's like, I don't know. I better run home and make sure everything's cool on the home front. And literally,
he's a ding dong daddy-o.
We didn't even talk about Walter avoided the laser from the wheelchair, but not before getting decapitated by the weird metal snake. It's the most horrible.
Oh my God. It was all fucking ridiculous. Where'd all this shit come from a suburban basement?
Yep. And I always love a good mannequin head. The freshly decapitated mannequin head that they have to do a hard cut. It's like, okay, that's always hilarious. But the movie ends with, plan solved, mission success. We did it with the little, because they kind of, did you notice this? They kind of threw in, oh, by the way, we had a child and it died of leukemia. Like, just kind of a yada yada, oh, by the way, my dead child. And I guess we're supposed to think that this baby, because first you think it's a mutant monster crawling out of the incubator, and oh no, it's actually
it looked like the little Beady from the Buck Rogers series.
It was Twiggy. It was Twiggy. Beady. It was, but that was. Hey, I know
it's gonna get that.
That's a deep pull. It was, you think that this kid was supposed to percolate for 5 days and pulling it out on day 1 would have been bad. Evidently, no. Everything's fine. It's like it's even got the Robert Vaughn voice going, hey, it worked, or whatever he says. And
they pull the scales off, and it's like a 7-year-old boy or girl. No one knows, but it has Robert Vaughn's voice. Hopefully, it is a boy and not a little girl. They're trying to do the Atreyu situation, though.
It was very much so, and it wasn't like an infant. It was like,
No.
what, like an 8-year-old or something like
So
that?
if they let it go for 5 more days, was it going to be like a 35-year-old and he and Julie Christie just go and hang out, or
Yes. It's like Progeria, the Curious Case of Benjamin Button. Something bad would happen. Something would happen. 100%. Credits roll.
Yeah.
This movie's a horrible piece of shit. And
I mean, that's
honestly,
better than a newborn talking to you like Robert Vaughn, I guess.
fair. If you had to choose, I was
Father, woman.
Woman. I
Change
fell
my
asleep.
I don't want to hear the dialogue as you're taking a crap in a diaper and I gotta change it. And Robert Vaughn is criticizing my technique of diaper changing.
Well, the rule
Give
of
me
thumb
your
is-
breast, woman.
yes.
And
rule of
I am
thumb is-
hungry.
Well, when the child can undo your blouse, it's time to stop breastfeeding. Right?
No,
when the
not
kid can
really.
ask for it by name,
Jesus.
accept no substitutes. It's time to
Mother, can I have my breast now? No.
no can do. Oh God. Shall we go behind the scenes? Like I said, I fell asleep 6 times watching this just from boredom.
Because honest to God, you know, it's not the puzzle box that released the Cenobites. It is so much more bullshit than that. How about you don't even talk about how it untwisted itself and what the scientist decided to crawl in the center of it so he could get his
Yes.
head popped off. What the fuck was that? I was like, what?
We didn't talk about that also in the garage was like an old school like blowtorch that they were constantly lighting and waving around to no effect, evidently. Yeah.
And my final complaint
Please.
is during the time where the giant brass weenus is on its way over, he decides to soothe her with very early computer graphic. It was literally like, and I've never been to these, but I used to hear the ads in the Bay Area. Come see Laserium, where it's just you're supposed to be on drugs and it's just weird bubble art and what are those called, Mandelbrats and weird shit floating by, because that's what you want to see when the brass weenus is coming at you.
God, well,
to relax you. I didn't find it relaxing.
Scenes, that was like 5 minutes of weird psychedelic imagery. I was like, what is happening? I'm about to have a few.
I'm not sure if we're supposed to be on drugs or that everyone in this film is on drugs. Because why did you throw that shit in?
Indeed.
Why?
Anywho.
And if he can cure leukemia, he couldn't figure out that this is all bad.
Can't figure it out. Totally.
Can't figure it out.
No
can do.
No can do. Okay, I'm going to go behind the scenes, if you will.
Let's go.
Jerry Fielding's score to Demon Seed is included in the soundtrack to the film Soylent Green. How about that?
I do love Soylent Green.
Oh,
sadly,
Jesus.
It is no Demon Seed.
We talked about that Dean Koontz revised and updated the book, and it contains numerous technological updates and strong character differences from his original idea.
It's like when they re-edited Star Wars just to make it shittier.
That's what they did.
Nobody needs to see Dancing Jabba.
No, we do not, in fact. Robert Vaughn is uncredited as the voice of Proteus. How about that?
He probably was supposed to be, and he's like, take my name off this shit. I'll never get on the Love Boat with this out there.
I love this little note here. It says, when Proteus comes alive as that block puzzle looking thing that kills Walter and attacks Dr. Harris, it makes the same sound as the automatic doors on Star Trek. This movie, man. Let's look at the cast and crew, shall we?
Why pay to invent something when you can use free stuff?
100%. Just rip off some old crap. Directed by director Donald Cammell. Camel. I don't know how to pronounce his name.
Kamel.
Kamel. Could be Kamel. You know him from Wild Side in 1995. No, we don't.
As in, take a walk on the.
Yes, in fact. Directed Demon Seed in 1977. Something called Performance in 1970. And something called White of the Eye in 1987. I have heard of none
That
of
sounds
these.
like a perfect Giallo name.
The White of the Eye. Let's see. Julie Christie played Susan Harris. And it's really a Julie Christie show. I mean, she's pretty much on stage by herself 95% of the time in this movie.
Yes, agreed.
You know her from Don't Look Now in 1973, which we've discussed on this show.
I'm still very conflicted about that, but I will be in Venice. I'll look for a dwarf in a red rain jacket.
You absolutely should. She played Laura in Dr. Zhivago in 1965.
Yeah.
She was in Fahrenheit 451 in 1966.
Another classic.
And something called Away From Her in 2006. Unfamiliar. She's still doing her thing.
Unfamiliar.
We may have talked about this before. Warren Beatty, who was dating her off and on during this period, after seeing this movie, remarked that she'd ruined her career. And
fair.
I'm not sure he was wrong. Yep. Fritz Weaver played Alex Harris, her husband, estranged husband. You know him from Marathon Man. He played Professor Biesenthal in 1976.
Hey, Julie Christie, live and kicking. She is our mother's age.
Yep, she's still doing her thing. He was in The Thomas Crown Affair in 1999. So the remake of The Thomas Crown Affair.
I see.
He was in Failsafe in 1964. That's a real movie.
That is.
And of course, he played Dexter Stanley in 1982's Creep Show, the episode of The Crate.
I remember. Yep. I remember.
Absolutely. Let's see. Garrett Graham played Walter Gabler. You know him from such things as he was Beef in 1974's Phantom of the Paradise. He was in Child's Play 2 in 1990. He was in Used Cars in 1980. And let's see who else is in this movie. He said Robert Vaughn is uncredited, and he is, but I feel like we should talk about him since he is so prominently. I'm going to have to just type his...
While you do that, I'm going to go see who Michael Dorn was.
Okay, Robert Vaughn. You know him from such things as The Magnificent Seven in 1960.
Yes.
In 1968, he was in Bullet with Steve McQueen. He was Ross Webster in Superman 3 in 1983. And he was Senator Parker in The Towering Inferno in 1974. How about that?
We have not done The Towering Inferno.
We need to add it to the list. I love The Towering Inferno. I love all those Irwin.
It's not as good as The Poseidon Adventure, though.
Haven't done that either.
What? Yes, we have.
No, we have not.
There's got to be a morning after.
We've talked about it a few times. Oh, we didn't mention this. Both Garrett Graham and Robert Vaughn are in 1989's Chud 2, Bud the Chud. You want to check that out. And Robert Vaughn in 1988 was in something called Zombie 5, Killing Birds.
Well, as long as they're channeling it on birds. Michael Dorn made a brief uncredited appearance as a lab technician.
So no lines. Just a background actor.
10 years later, he became the Klingon Worf.
I do love Klingon Worf. Not going to lie.
Dude.
Let's look at the rating, shall we? Demon Seed. currently has on Rotten Tomatoes 57% rotten. Do you know what the
Fair.
audience gave it?
56.
46.
Yeah.
Audiences
It's
were even
awful.
more angry
It's
about it.
awful.
It's the pits. There are 3 top critics. I'm unfamiliar with any of them, but I'm going to read them anyway. How
Do
about
it.
that? Richard Combs from Sight and Sound says, very uncomfortably directed. The performances are stilted and metallic, whatever's supposed to be assumed about robots taking over, and the perfunctory visuals leave the ramshackle plot dangerously overexposed.
Ramshackled. We need to use that more.
I don't disagree. Michael Sragow of The New Yorker says, Christie's passionate, vulnerable performance keeps pulling the entire movie into her point of view.
Well,
That's a
it
positive
is
review, I guess.
POV. She's the only human on 90% of this movie.
Sad but true. But none of that matters. In this day of AI, we should check in with our in-house movie critic, Proteus.
It's only fair. Proteus Rex Reed.
This is what he has to say. Demon Seed is a ludicrous techno nightmare where a love-struck supercomputer turns a smart home into a high-tech hostage situation, proving that even artificial intelligence can make catastrophically bad relationship choices.
Oh, was this a relationship?
It was a relationship. Disagree? Well, that's we didn't even talk about how weird it is that she has to basically bash her own husband over the head because he's like, don't kill the mutant child being generated. That was a weird shift when Fritz Weaver's like, no, save the mutant that Proteus is creating. I didn't know what that was. It was very strange.
I guess he was
Anywho.
curious. He's down to clown.
Clearly. Aaron, what is your rating of Demon Seed?
We need to never watch this again. I'm going to give it 2.5 brass dog weenuses out of 1,000,000.
Look, it was mostly boring.
Yeah,
More boring than
that
anything
too.
else. The killer smart home wasn't particularly scary.
It was a dumb home.
Yeah, the bizarre Rubik's Cube attacking people. Again, I laughed when the dude's head was popped like a cork. But other than that, I'm going to give it a 1.5.
Yeah.
I mean,
pass.
It's a hard pass. Look, I've seen worse on this podcast, but it's not
no
something
Holocaust. Don't get me wrong.
Fair. So I don't need to see it again. Don't need to see it again. Any last thoughts about Demon Seed? So we can move on with our lives.
No, just bear in mind that the entire movie is about impregnating Julie Christie with a robot.
Fair. So on that lovely note, thank you very much. You can find us all across the social media landscape. We're on X. We're on Blue. We're not on X. Where did that come from?
What?
We're on Threads. We're on Blue Sky. We're on TikTok. We are on Instagram. You can also see our smiling faces on YouTube if you're so inclined. Ooh la la. You can email us at the podcast that wouldn't die at Gmail. We are on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere the finer podcasts are available. So don't forget to like, share, rate, and review. Won't you?
Won't you please?
Aaron, what is your social media situation?
I have artwork on Artsy and First Dibs, Aaron Doherty, Instadreams Galleries, and I am on the gram. The Cult of Aaron. Join the cult.
Beautiful. As you know, we like to check in with our friends and families and strangers across the social media landscape. Aaron, what are the streets saying?
Terry Melcher wrote in on...
Did he now?
On the Ticker Talk and was asking about the new Mummy and if we planned on covering it. I almost went to see it, but then I saw the weird Irish witch movie with the fucking guy from Parks and Rec. Brr.
Okay, these all sound like
Did you
winners
see
to
the
me.
new Mummy?
I believe it's called Lee Cronin's The Mummy, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yes. Is
No.
that related to Kevin Cronin from REO Speedwagon?
It's just like Lee Daniels, The Mummy. As you can check that out. That's a deep pull as well. It sounds like it's not Christopher Lee or Boris Karloff walking around. It's like they went on vacation to Egypt and their daughter became a mummy, is what I think it's about. To answer your question, I have not seen it. I wouldn't be opposed to seeing it.
Like they killed her and wrapped her up in toilet paper and buried her in a sand dune?
Unclear. Whatever. But if Jay Sebring says we should check it out, then I'm in. I'm in. That's for your Terry Melcher.
Let me know when he calls.
100%. Oh, sweet Jesus. Next week, we're discussing the suspense thriller The Game, starring Michael Douglas and Sean Penn from
Remember, you're supposed to
1997.
hate the game, not the player.
Not the player. That's what I tell these people. You know, hate the game, not the player. Where
Is this
can you
the
watch?
most deadliest game?
It could be unclear. You can watch it for free if you have a subscription to Prime Video. How about that? No additional costs. If you don't,
they say that it's a lie. You also
be.
have to have an additional subscription to Masterpiece Theater or for off Jeff Bezos.
It could be. You could also rent it on Prime Video, Apple TV, YouTube, Fandango for $3.99. And you could even buy it for $4.99 on Apple TV or $5 on Fandango if you just want to own it. So,
do you think if I returned that Cyrano de Bergerac, I would have a credit and then I would buy this with it? Probably.
I think if you returned it 4 years ago, that's possible. I don't know. This isn't Nordstrom's, right? Where you can just show up. You're like, hey, I bought this 10 years ago. Can you give me something for it? Tires?
Dude, even Nordstrom's not Nordstrom anymore.
I know. It's a sad situation. Anyway,
Facts.
Send in your favorite scenes, favorite quotes, comments, and questions, and we may talk about it on the show. So, thank you very much, and be well.
Be well, my children.